again, beautiful artists. Welcome back to another episode of Paint Along with Skye. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Skye and I post beginning level acrylic tutorials here on YouTube every Saturday. So hit subscribe if you'd like to join the fun and paint along. Hit the bell icon to be notified when a new video gets posted, and check the description box below for all the materials that you'll need for today's painting. Okay, let's jump in. Hello there, beautiful artists. Today I have a lovely American flag painting for us in honor of Memorial Day and also to get us ready for 4th of July. So guess what colors we're using? That's right, red, white, and blue. You're also going to need black as well as a warm brown. We're going to be using our 3 standard brushes. So we have a big square brush, a medium-sized pointy brush, and also a very small detail brush. Go ahead and get those in your water cups off the screen. Make sure you got a couple paper towels ready. Check the description box for a more detailed list of all the materials that we'll use today. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to block everything out here. So we're going to do an accurate American flag. I'm actually reusing an old canvas here. So I'm going to start with my big brush. Yeah, so you can, whenever you don't like a painting, you can just paint over it. You don't have to keep it, and it doesn't have to sit in your studio and stare at you like it does for me. So I just paint over it with acrylic white paint and just keep going right on top. So let's start with a light blue, a little bit of blue mixed with white, and we're just going to create our rectangle here in this upper corner. Now I want to maybe go between like a half and a third of the way down, so a little bit more than a third, a little bit less than a half. And then you just want to bring that blue line out as straight-ish as you can. Till about about not quite halfway, but a little bit more than a third of the way out. And then we've created our blue rectangle right there. Then go ahead and grab your paint color. You're going to fill it in. We're actually going to want to use up and down brush strokes to get this filled in. So as I say in many of my classes, I want to remind you again that brush stroke direction matters. So you don't want to go all crazy in here. Every single brush stroke matters. It's all in the details, all about the details. And texture like that is a big deal. So I'm just going along the bottom and pulling my paintbrush up there. And then I'm going to grab a little bit of white, not washing my brush, and I'm going to just do a couple streaks in there to make it a little bit more interesting and not just solid blue. This is also just one of the many different things that we'll do to create that sort of weathered look that I call rustic. So do not worry about this all being super smooth. Some streakiness is what we're going for. So that looks great. I'm going to go ahead and rinse my brush, and now we're going to lay out some of our stripes. Same brush though, so rinse all the blue out. Paint water and paper towels on the side of my screen here. So clean brush. Now I'm just going to grab some red. Okay, now in this top portion, we want to have 4 red stripes. And in the bottom, we're going to have 3 red stripes. So this first one, I'm going to go right from the bottom here. And you're going to just drag it across your canvas like that. I'm going to do one at the very top. This one is going to go off my canvas a little bit. One at the top, one at the bottom. It's just going to be about as thick as your brush is wide. And then we're going to have 2 in the middle, like so. And we are going to finesse this and refine it as we fill it in. So don't worry too much about your spacing yet. Okay, and then you can go back and kind of make it a bit more solid. In retrospect, I feel like I maybe should have left more space on the bottom. Oh well. It's rustic. Okay, so let's do 3 stripes at the bottom. This one I'm going to have also at the very bottom of my canvas. Let's see, we'll have a white stripe there. So maybe about like so. And like so. Looking good already. Oops. Pulled a little bit of blue into my paint, that's okay. Again, because this is rustic. Artistic license given. Okay. You can certainly use a smaller brush if you feel more comfortable with that. Remember that square brushes, though, can be used like this or like this. So to get a little bit more control in there as I fill in that stripe, I just turned my brush to get a much smaller edge. Okay. I'm not going to worry about them being super straight, super even, or anything like that. Going for that handmade, rustic look. Okay, and now even though our white stripes are white and our canvas is white, it is a good idea to still get them filled in. So, I think I'm actually going to use my medium-sized brush for that. Medium size. And you just want to get some paint in here. This is especially important if you're just painting on a blank canvas. My texture is going to look really similar because as I mentioned, am using an old recycled canvas for this project. But it's just a chance for me to refine those lines, get those brush strokes going the correct direction again, because the details matter. It's giving me also a chance to kind of maybe make some of the red stripes a bit skinnier if they got too fat in areas, and vice versa. And pick up a little bit of pink. Just make sure to rinse your brush. So yeah, my white stripes are a little bit thinner up top. That's okay. It is okay. There we go. If we want to be a creature of perfection, which I do strive to be, bring our blue a little bit further down, just to even that out. Okay. All right, looking good. Let's start to add some of these gorgeous rustic colors. So I'm going to use my medium brush for that as well. You could use your smaller brush if you want a little bit more control again. Okay, we're going to do 2 different colors. So we're going to use our warm brown, and we're also going to use like an almost black brown. So let's start with the warm brown. And a little bit of water in here makes it a bit more transparent. And you want to be somewhat light-handed with this. So we're just going to do some streaks in each of those little areas, starting to fade those colors and get that rustic effect. A little bit in the white and in the red. We have 13 colonies, 13 stripes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 stripes. The most technical part of this painting is getting it all laid out for sure. Okay. All right, and now let's make a dark brown. Very, very dark brown. And with this, I'm going to do two things. So the first is very similar to what we just did. We're going to pull it across some areas, but we're also going to use this to redefine our initial shapes. So kind of like outlining it. And also adding another element of that weathered look at the same time. Be really light-handed with this step. Just very light pressure on your brush. Some of it might overlap your brown. Some might kind of fill in next door. See, this is already, I feel, looking really cute. Just pulling our brush across the canvas. Not stressing about perfection. Not today. If you're painting along, I would love to see your paintings. I created an art share Facebook group called the Art Club. And we share our work there, whether it be from painting along with me on Saturdays or just from your own studio. So check out the description box below for that. I'd love to see your work. I also am offering bonus classes as well as live Q&As, or what I call Q&Arts, on my Patreon. It's only $4 a month suggested donation. So please check that out as well if you'd like to support the channel. And the classes there are more intermediate. They're kind of a beginning intermediate level. So if you've done a couple classes and you want to kick it up a notch, or you just want to support the channel or hang out with me, we do the third Thursdays art chat, Q&Art, so you can talk with me directly. So check those out. Made a couple resources for you guys to make it feel like a real painting teacher, like a real art class experience. Okay, that's looking good. Now we're also going to do the edges of our canvas, but we're going to do kind of like a little additional step with that. So let's grab our big brushes again. Look at how cute this is looking. Really, really nice. Okay, we're just going to grab pretty much just solid black. And then we're going to do the sides of our canvas. And we're also just going to let that brush come onto the face of the canvas too, creating a sort of rustic looking frame. We're going to do that on every side. My edges are already painted black for the most part. So it's mostly just doing that rustic frame for me. There we go. Not too much water with this technique, or you'll get a pretty solid line. So you kind of want to let the brush kind of fan out. Like so. Right along the edge. Looking good. And along the top edge, don't be shy to grab your painting and move it around. You can certainly use an easel if you'd like. I tend to just paint right on the tabletop. Okay. Okay, looking cute. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay. Now we're going to do the other trickiest part, which is laying out our stars. Then we're going to let this dry for a second. And we're going to come back and do a really fun additional weathering technique where we're actually going to use some paper towels, but we'll get into that in a second. For now, let's do our stars, which is kind of the last step of this part. Baby brushes, definitely. So the tiniest brush that you have, you want to make sure that it comes to a nice point. Okay, now to lay these out, they're going to be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so there's 9 rows here going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then it's going to be 11 across. I'm going to show you guys how to lay that out. I have one that I'm looking at off the screen too, if you're wondering the counting here. So I want to make sure that it's all laid out correctly so that we get exactly 50. So they're going to be alternating rows of 6 and then 5. So let's start at the very top with our tiny brushes. And what I actually like to do before I make them into stars is start with just little dots of paint. So we're going to try to get 6 stars in this top row. So I'm going to do one in the corner like that, and one way over here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. So then we're going to need 2 that are kind of off-centered. Try my best to space those out correctly. Okay. And then underneath here, we're going to have a row of 5. So it's going to go right kind of in between. And that's the pattern that we got to bring down to the bottom. So you see how we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the next row we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to go the next row down. Going to look just like our top row. 3, 4, 5, 6. And the next row down, we're going to have 5. Just like the second row. 4, 5. Okay. Next row is going to be another row of 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This part's easy to get confused. It's definitely the trickiest part. 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need 4 more rows. So we're perfect. Golden. Looking good. So another row of 5, alternating them, creating a little pattern. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 2 more rows. And just double count. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, look it. We got it. We got it, everybody. Just 2 more rows. Okay. And then once we have these dots, it's way easier to come back and turn them into quick little stars. Like so. Being very, very, very light-handed. Again, not worrying about these looking perfect by any means, because it's what? It's rustic. Okay, and just being patient and trying not to overthink this pattern or really confuse ourselves. And I'm going to try my best not to stick my head in the frame, because I do that sometimes. And my hair doesn't look very good right now. I gotta paint with my hair up, otherwise it gets in my face. So I'm doing the scrunchy, messy bun mode right now. This would be a really fun painting to do with a group. That was what this is designed for. I've been teaching painting classes for 10 years actually, since my early 20s, and this has been an enduring classic project. Taught this to many a painter. We've had a lot of fun with it. Some variations I think are cute too. Is my personal favorite is to do a peace sign up here in the blue. Do a little kind of maybe Veterans for Peace type political statement, but we won't get political here. No, no. I am a peaceful creature, though, I will say. But I'm also proud to be an American. Here we go. Looking great. Okay, so cute. Okay. That's looking good to me. Just making sure all my stars are pretty much the same size. Five pointed stars here, and made sure we got all 50 laid out, and that's honestly pretty even in my opinion. Okay, let's let this dry for a few minutes, make sure that every little bit is dry, and then we're going to come back and we're going to add a little bit of texture, and we're going to be done with a simple, fun, and easy painting. I'll see you guys in a second. Okay, welcome back. Simple way to finish off this painting today. Really simple, easy, fun technique with paper towels. So go ahead and just take a paper towel, and you're going to want to crumple it up in your hand until you get a lot of nice little crevices. We're going to use this as a kind of sponge. Now I still have all the colors that I use, so my red, white, and blue, and my black and brown. And I'm going to use these colors to sort of sponge on some rustic elements onto my rustic flag. You may need to put some more paint if your palette has dried. And it's also, I find, a good idea to kind of add some water to a couple of these so that we can dab our paper towel in nicely to a nice little batch of paint in each little area. You may need some clean water. Okay. So all the colors that we used, we're going to now use again for this technique. I'm going to start with the lightest colors. Again, all kinds of little crevices is what you want here. Just to kind of use it like a stress ball. Ugh. Get your tension out. And then you want to undo it nice and crinkly. And then kind of wad it up like so. And then I'm going to start with white. And you're just kind of like a sponge. Add it all over, but especially on the edges. You don't want to go too crazy with each color. That looks about right to me. A little bit of red. Very nice. Sometimes light-handed and sometimes more heavy-handed. That's just another really important thing about painting, is varying your amount of pressure that you're applying. So that's how you can get so many different types of shapes with your brush, or in this case, your sponge-like wadded-up paper towels, by either doing it really lightly or doing it really aggressively. And a little bit of blue. This is totally up to your personal aesthetic too. You don't have to do all these colors. You can do maybe just black and white. I like the way that it kind of ends up looking splatter painted. I like the messy, fun, colorful. Cute. Okay, and then last but not least, our darker colors. Kind of using my paper towels to grab a little bit of brown on one side and a little bit of black on the other. Okay, I feel like that looks pretty good to me. Just when I said that, I'm like, no, this corner needs a little bit more. Beautiful. Okay, now I like it. Whenever you feel like you're finished, call it good. And you can also make a nice cute little message if you want. I think is a nice little final touch. So I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to leave it as is. But you could write something like, God bless America, or I was thinking about writing the word blessed, because I certainly do feel blessed to live here in the United States. So I hope you guys enjoyed this painting, and happy Memorial Day to all my fellow patriots out there. And until next time, stay creative.